Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video.
Hey guys, welcome again to the channel. Today we're gonna be doing the Fighting Soul list, and we're gonna explain everything about it. And as you see, it's not a tier list, it's a list to show where you can use them, where they're most efficient, and where you can benefit from them, and what they do actually, because some people are telling me they are not understanding the usage of them. Are they that helpful? Can we not run this, run that? And how I capitalized on this actually for my benefit to use them in my progression. So starting off in the old category. So we have Shelter. It's used in everywhere. Shelter is used everywhere. In every team, you need to have one unit to have Shelter, and preferably use it on the tag position because it works from tag. You can use it on only one unit. If you use it on somebody else, I guess they take the flat thing, the basic ones, the HP and the crit resist, but they don't stack the effect. It means it won't work. And what it does, it's when the battle begins, it gives the teammates, all of them, a shield that absorbs 12% of max HP, and it goes up to 16%. And when you 5-star it, it will have 100% chance to gain a shield that absorbs to the damage that equals to 8% of the maximum HP of this unit that have the Shelter on. Plus it's a trigger interval, so it's every 10 seconds it will give you that shield if you get a crit into your face. It's a 30% chance to trigger, but it's a big chance, and it's so much good, and it's recommended to have it on every lineup. Now the second one, and it's of course also on every lineup, you need to have Fast Chant. I would say Fast Chant is always comes before everything else. Fast Chant is the most one that you need to focus on. As we know, Fast Chant gives you speed to the carrier of it, and mainly we want it with the most speedy unit to have it, like especially if you're running B Zangief, you need to have it. And it will give a little bit of effect resistance. It means burn, bleed, and shock, and everything else from debuffs you want it won't be taken by the carrier. Plus, it works only on one unit, so it will not stack up. If you have a full team of Fast Chants, it will not give you the bonus Fighting Soul skills. It will give you just the speed on the unit, and it will give you the effect resistance. Now, it fills your super combo meter at base level with 200, and it goes up to 400 at the start of the battle, which is insane. And then when you max it to 5 stars, every normal attack will fill the super combo gauge by 25. So you can use it in PvE, PvP, bossing, and everywhere else. It's recommended to have one unit at least with the Fast Chant every time on your lineup. You need it, especially in PvP. You cannot outspeed your opponent if you don't have a Fast Chant, and if they have a Fast Chant. It's really important to have Fast Chant. Now, another one used by all of the lineups, and I know it's pay to win, it's the Tyrant Fighting Soul. And this is why it's pay to win. It's so much great, it's OP, it's so powerful, and you can use it on every lineup, especially on your damage dealers. Probably your main carry, you need to use it on them when you have them on the lineup. And the thing is with it, it gives you both crit rate and crit damage, and when you level it up, it goes insanely crazy. Flat crit rate, flat crit damage, what every carry needs actually. And it gives you 30 stacks of Tyrant. Now every stack of Tyrant give you a 0.65% attack up. It means when you start of the battle and you get 30, it's 19.5 attack, increasing attack. So 19.5% attack you're gonna gain on your carry, and every time you deal damage, one stack gets removed. Now on level 2 it gets to 36, which means a 23 or 24% almost of attack. And on 5 stars, this is great for it. The fighter receives a shield equal to 80% of their attack for 7 seconds while the shield is active. The fighter gains 1 Tyrant every second, stacks up to 36. So it recovers the stacks when it gets removed when you hit them. But it's every 15 seconds the fighter receives a shield that's equal to 80% of their attack. So if you're having it on the carry, the shield is great, is big. It's hard to remove. Plus, you're gonna refresh your stacks. You're gonna consume stacks, then refresh them again. Every 15 seconds, you're gonna get this shield, which absolutely is insane. Now that we spoke about all of the fighting souls that you can use in all of the content, let's go specifically to the PvE ones. Now, the Marshal is the one specifically best used in PvE. You can use it in PvP a little bit, but it's best used in PvE. And now I'll speak about it and why is that. It doesn't only give you the attack bonus percentage and the pressure percentage, but for every time the enemy gets lower on HP or missing their HP, it starts by 15% and goes to 12%. Every 12% of their HP missing, you're gonna deal even more damage, and it goes up to 4%, or it is at 4%. So for every 12% that they lose of HP, you gain 4% of attack or damage. So it increases your overall damage. And when you give it to 5 stars, it ignores 12% of the defense of the enemy when they are below 30%, which will make it more easier for you to get the final blow and clear the stage. It's specifically used in tower and in progression and story, and versus the bosses that they give you between the stories whenever you clear a stage. Now, for the second one, and it's Broken Formation. Everybody uses Broken Formation. Broken Formation is one of the broken free-to-play fighting soul in the game. Now, why Broken Formation is so good? It gives you a crit rate boost from the start, and it's the second biggest crit rate boost after Tyrant, and it gives you pressure also, so you can land these hits on the enemy. Now, you deal 18% more damage to the targets with more than 80% HP, and then it goes to 70% HP when you get it to 2 stars. Now, at 5 stars, you deal 25% more crit damage to the targets with more than 80% HP. Not regular damage, crit damage. It means if your crit damage is 50%, you deal 18% more, which helps a lot in the PvE, especially if you're running somebody like Guile, if you're running Chun-Li, Cammy, these units that needs a lot of crit, like Jury, anybody that wants some crits. Of course, Marshal is best used on the PvE, but then comes if you want to boost, and especially if you're a low spender or free to play and you don't have Tyrant or Valiance or anything like that, you can use this fighting soul, which is pretty much insane. Now, the third one, and yeah, it's War Dance. Now, why War Dance is so important, and people always forget about War Dance. Now, some lineups you don't run, let's say, a healer, or you don't run anybody that sustain you with a big heal. Like if you're running Street Poison, she heals you with her passive, but it's not that big if you don't have these things on them or these modifiers. I'll be talking about them soon. One of them is War Dance. Now, War Dance, it gives you an attack bonus and it gives you dodge, so you can run it on sub DPS or on your main DPS. It works, and it works like that. When the battle begins, one friendly unit that is in the lowest HP gets an HP percentage of HP restored equal to 90% of the unit attack. So if you have it on a unit with high attack, it will heal them for 90% of that attack, which is insane. And it goes up to 120% of the target's attack, which is also insane. Now, at 5 stars, after the restoration is completed, the fighter's dodge is increased by 30% for 4 seconds. It means your tank getting hit, you heal them up, they get dodge for 30%, and this is insane. It helps a lot. It helped me a lot of many lineups that I was dying like in the last minutes, like I need one more hit, but I don't survive. It helped me a lot. It saved me a lot of time and retries. Now, speaking about Echo. Now, Echo is one of my favorite, and basically it's my favorite fighting soul. And why is that? So people are telling me why our teams are not surviving, why we can't do it. We ran the same lineups that you ran. Oh, why my PvP team is losing and your PvP team is winning against similar lineups and they have even more stats than my teams. I'll be talking about that in general, and I will tell you this is the most broken PvP and PvE for tanks. And what this happens, and especially for Summer Yang users, whenever you play Summer Yang, play this on him. I'm gonna tell you why. It increases your defense bonus, which is insane for tanks, and crit resilience. It means you're not gonna get crit damage into your face. Not crit resistance. Crit resistance, it reduces the crit rate that you will get. So the chances that you can get a crit in your face will be reduced. But this one, crit resilience. And crit resilience, it means it reduces the crit damage that you take by your tanks, which will make them survive more and better. Whenever you get received a healing, So whenever you get healed by your tank, it increases the healing by 12% of their missing HP. So if you're missing 50% of HP, it increases 12% of the 50%. So it increases your overall heals received by your tanks. And it goes up to 18%, and it has a small interval time, which is 8 seconds, which is absolutely insane. And then at 5 stars, it increases the healings received by 30% when the fighter HP dropped below 30%. So whatever healing that you have, you will gain 30% of it as a healing whenever you're below 30%, which is amazing on Honda, amazing on Zangief, amazing on every tank actually. And why is it so important on Summer Yang? Summer Yang gives you the shields based on the percentage of his defense. So no matter how you think Summer Yang should wear a fast Chant or should wear let's say Shelter, the best thing to wear is Echo. It has the most percentage for defense. He's gonna have insane defense, so he's gonna give a bigger shield for your lineup. Now next for PvE, we'll also have this one. I don't recommend it, I don't love it that much, but it works in PvE most than other things. It works on bosses, but in PvE you need it more. I will explain why. Now as you know, we need for carries as base stats, we need crit, attack, damage, crit rate, crit damage, maybe a little bit of pressure. But this one, it offers you an HP bonus and a defense bonus, and you need to wear it on anybody on the lineup. You can put it on tanks, you can put it, but there's other fighting soul that can use on tanks, and the top tier fighting soul Echo is the best one to use on tanks. Now, what this happen? So when you have it, the active skill of it, it's whenever you activate a skill or a combo, the allied fighter with the highest attack, it means it will support anybody, any carry on your lineup, will give them a 10% increase in damage for 7 seconds. It means you continue the combo and get it. And this does not stack, so back to back, it only works once. After the 7 seconds that is faded, another one will proc, and you will get a 7-second new again, so it's only for 10%. And it goes up, I guess, more than 10%. It goes up for 10 seconds. So it starts with 7 seconds, it goes for 10 seconds. Now, the good thing about it, if you 5-star it, and this is a very hard investment and you need to pay a lot of money to do this. This is also a pay-to-win item, which every second violence trigger. So if you start your combo, do another combo, it stacks. It gives, the second stack is for the entire team. The entire team gets a 10% a damage bonus. And I don't think it's so much better from other fighting souls. If there's a tier list, I would rate it pretty lower than others. Still, it's good, it's not bad, but you can have beneficial bonuses from other fighting souls. Let's speak about PvP. Now, we talked about PvE. PvP, the best PvP one, of course, these ones are also in the PvP, they're in everything. It's also the broken formation for the crit rate and for the pressure. And because PvP is a fast, you go fast in PvP and you need to hit fast. You can't like depend on healing that much, maybe on tanky teams, but you want to go and rush the enemy team and kill everybody. You need the buffs for the crit rate, especially for free-to-play and casual spenders that they don't have Tyrant. Broken formation is the way to go. Now, Assault, I would say it's situational and it's also in PvP. Why? Now, Assault, the good thing about it, it gives you an attack bonus and defense bonus if you wear it on your carry or on your DPS, and this is what you need to do. And the thing about it, it's every 10th attack it deals extra damage, and then it goes up to every 8th attack there's extra damage equal to 50% of the attack of the target. So every 8 hits that you do, it specifically goes with Witch Jury, Chun-Li, Cammy, anybody who hits multi times, it gives them, and even Flame Chun, it will make the 8th attack deal more damage. And when the HP drops below 50% for the first time, the fighter performs a 3 direct strike, each dealing damage equal to 150% of the target's attack. So it's pretty good. I don't think it's higher than Broken Formation. I don't think it's higher than Martial. I think it's good for multi-hitting units, but I also recommend always play Broken Formation and Martial and Echo on everything. Probably wear War Dance and Shelter, Fast Chant. These are the best for you to go. If you paid money, Tyrant is the way to go on your carries. Now, Echo also is used here in PvP. Why? Because you can get more healings if you're playing a healer on your tanks, which will survive more, and it will give them the resistance, and it will give them the defense. Now, Marshall, it's situational in PvP. It's good in PvP, always good in PvP. I would say it's better than Assault, of course, in PvP. The thing is with Marshall, it runs on specifically some kind of units like a Flame, Bleed. Also Vega, you need to play Broken Formation on them. He crits, he does more damage because his initial damage is great. For Dalsim, like his ball doesn't deal that much of damage. His Flame Breath deals decent damage, but it's not the main source of his damage. The main source of his damage is the ticking of the burn of them. So if they have a cleanser or whatever, you can apply it and they drop a lot of it on HP again, and you can abuse the Marshal to make more damage actually and to benefit you more. This is how I see it actually. Let's speak about War Dance also in PvP. You can use War Dance in PvP, also helps a lot with healing a little bit. I wouldn't say it's good for PvP that much, but if you're not running a healer on your lineup, you can play War Dance. Now for bossing, of course for bossing, we play Broken Formation. Always you play Tyrant and Fast Chant. Situationally you play Shelter, but you don't even actually need Shelter every time, but sometimes you need it from the burst from bosses. Assault, of course, for multi-hitters, it's insane for bossing. It's absolutely insane for bossing, for multi-hitters, especially Chun-Li. She works good for Flame Chun, also use it a lot. Violence here, you can use it for bossing. It's absolutely insane for bossing. I wouldn't recommend it up here in the PvP. It's for bossing. It's absolutely helpful because you're gonna go for more damage and this buffs your carry. And you can play War Dance here in bossing. Situationally, not every time. A little bit of times that you can use it. It gives you the attack, it gives you everything that you need, and you can heal somebody. If you're not running a healer, it can sustain a little bit. Let's put it like this. I would recommend playing it over Violence actually, or Violence over it, because Violence buffs your damage dealers. Now, and it's also, the thing is with bossing, most of the time we don't use a healer, so this would help. And if you have a tank wearing this and it procs, it will heal your tank massively, which is good actually. Now let's talk about Reckless. Reckless is not just situational, you can use it everywhere, but the thing is why it's situational, it's not for every character. It goes for specific units and in lineups. Now if you want a buff for HP, it's the most one that gives you HP percentage. This is why we run it on Elena, to buff it with HP, because she does healings according to her HP. Now one unit that insanely wrecks the game with Reckless, it's Nero. Now you need to have Blanca either on Nero for more counter attacks, or you need to have Witch Jury to keep him surviving and get lifesteal. Now what does Reckless do? It gives you HP bonus and effect resistance, which negates any kind of debuffs that you have. Not negate them, but reduce the probability of you having them. Now what does it do? If they don't have, let's say they don't have shields or defense buff your enemy, because if they have these, you can't bypass them easily. Now let's say they don't have them. So when you're taking damage, when Nero is taking that, let's say Nero is wearing it and taking damage, the fighter has a 10% chance to deal damage equal to 10% of the target's current HP to the attacker. So 10%, but it doesn't exceed, it goes up to 500% of the target's defense. So because Nero has high defense, the damage does insane for them, okay? But it doesn't cross the 500%. Now it triggers every 7 seconds. So he counters attack and he does damage to them because of the Reckless, and he gains HP if you have Witch Jury on him, which is absolutely insane. Now it goes up to 12% of the target's HP. Now the best thing about it, it's on 5 stars. It converts the counter attack damage to true damage. So even not only the counter attack of Reckless, but the counter attack of Nero himself, it converts to true damage. It means no shields, no ignore defense, no nothing. No immunities can remove that. They will take the damage because it's true damage. It's the only wording, I think that there's 2 or 3 wording in the game that says true damage, not soul damage. It's one of them, the Reckless, it has true damage. So it's basically, if you have it on 5 star, if you're lucky enough to get it to 5 star, use it on anybody who does counter attack. It's mainly used by Jury, normal Jury, and Nero because they have the most high damage attributes, and you can slap on them somebody that gives them counter attack like Blanca, or somebody that heal them when they ever attack or does anything like lifesteal with Witch Jury. Absolutely insane. And yeah, this is the breaking down of this list of the fighting souls. Let me know if this helped you. Let me know if you have other questions or you have any ideas how to use them on what lineups, and let me know what else lists you want me to do and discuss with you. And yeah, that was it for the video.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand